Horrible moans and screams permeate the depths of the dark Everglades, and the bent, deformed silhouette of an unimaginably grotesque titan rises from the slime of the swamps to strike terror in the hearts of those who witness this terrible manifestation. What was this monstrous thing of darkness? 2 men found out, but neither of them lived to reveal their discovery. Hello, my name is Bill. Welcome to the NightTerrors channel, where we enjoy the uncensored gore of illustrated horror stories, printed before the censorship of the Comics Code. YouTube refuses to ante up to keep these episodes coming, so I depend upon support from the viewers. That is why I'm asking for your donation. At the end of this video, you will be presented an opportunity to keep this channel sustainable by clicking on one of 2 buttons, the blue button or the red button. You guys and dolls mean the world to me. Thank you. A small town in the Everglades section of southern Florida.
Sheriff, I need your help. I'm worried over my brother, Sam. He's been missing for 2 days.
Calm down, Clem, and give me some facts.
2 nights ago, Sam told me he saw one of them flying saucers come down somewhere in the bogs. He said he was going to investigate. I warned him not to go, but he wouldn't pay no mind to me. He took his hound dog and went into the glades, and nobody's seen him since. I figured I waited long enough for him to come back, so I come to get you.
All right, Clem, get your shotgun and lead me to the spot where you last saw him. We'll try to pick up his trail.
At that moment, Bill Chapman and Hank Andrews, 2 of the sheriff's deputies, entered the office.
Sorry, Sheriff, we had no luck in running down that convict, and he made a clean getaway. I'm glad you're back anyway, boys. Now you 2 can go with Clem. I have a lot of reports to fill out.
After Clem explained the situation, they armed themselves and entered the forbidding depths of the Everglades. Look, man, here's his footprints and the prints of his dog. They're kind of faint, but I can make 'em out. Several moments later, they come upon a shocking sight. It's Sam's dog!
Great day. Something terrible must have got this critter. Look, there's giant footprints all around here. There are signs of a struggle, mixed here with these big prints. It looks as though a body were dragged along the ground. Look, Clem, if you'd rather not go on, we can turn back.
No, Hank, I've got to know. I've got to know. The shades of darkness were fast falling as the 3 men took up the grisly trail, terminating abruptly in front of a growth of foliage. Whatever it was that dragged along the ground must be in them bushes. You look, Bill, I can't.
Easy, boy, easy. Whatever it is, we have to be brave.
The deputy slowly separated the leaves, and his eyes bulged in horror at the sickening sight which greeted him.
Good heavens!
It's Sam! He's dead! His face, look at his face! Hank tried to console the grief-stricken Clem, while Bill constructed a rude litter. By now the shrouds of darkness had settled in the swamp, so they were forced to abandon their search for the terrible killer and carry back the remains of Sam Thatcher. Later, Bill Chapman and Hank Andrews reported back to the sheriff.
We found Sam Thatcher, Sheriff. He was dead. Hacked up something awful. Too bad. Sam was a good man. I guess somebody had it in for him. It wasn't any man that killed him, Sheriff. There is no man strong enough to tear a body apart like that. It must have been a giant beast of some kind. Something bigger than a grizzly bear. Nonsense. There's no such critter around here. But, Sheriff, we saw footprints as long as a man's forearm. I tell you, there's some kind of thing in them bogs. Ridiculous, Bill. If there was, old Zeke the Hermit would have told us. He knows every inch of the glades in this area. He's lived in the swamps as long as anybody can remember. Through the long hours of the night, Clem Thatcher tossed upon his bed, unable to sleep. Sam dead. I've always looked after him, protected him, and now he's dead. Then, resolutely he rose, dressed, and took his rifle from the wall. I won't rest till I get the thing that killed my brother, even if I have to search the bogs all night long. Slowly he made his way through the Stygian darkness of the swamp, stumbling, faltering, in blackness, but still forging ahead, obsessed with desire for revenge. Presently he made a discovery, the horribly torn and mutilated body of a dead alligator. This gator's been dead only a few hours. I must be getting close to that devil of a killer. Doggedly, Clem pushed through the forbidding bogs. These prints are real fresh. I'm gaining on 'em. Suddenly, he came upon an unusual sight. What's this? A big round metal thing of some kind. Could this be the flying saucer which Sam claimed he saw? So there is another who discovers the hiding place of my craft. What the? No, it can't be possible. Clem did not have time to run. It happened too fast. He didn't even have time to fire his rifle. He was seized in a sudden vice-like grip and raised aloft. For an instant he caught a brief glimpse of that face of indescribable horror. Then he was dashed mercilessly against the bole of a huge tree. A scream of mingled pain and terror escaped his lips at the moment of impact, and then silence. Had one been present to witness this tragedy, one would have observed the shadowy figure of a titanic monstrosity, lumbering through the darkness, dragging the lifeless form that was once Clem Thatcher. Moments later, in a small cabin deep within the bogs, old Zeke, the hermit, lit a lantern and grabbed his trusty rifle. Funny, I thought I heard a scream out in the swamp. I better investigate. Holding his rifle in a firm grip, the old recluse stepped out into the steaming marshes. Don't see anything. Wait, that sound. Like some big animal moving through the underbrush. Old Zeke proceeded a short distance further, and then met his eyes an incredible sight. What's this? A giant of some kind, dragging a dead body, coming towards me. Could it be? In the next instant, another earthling wandering the swamp. But hold, you are no creature of terror. You are Zafra Zaran of Arcturus, who drove me from the world of the Titans. And you are the Titan Tagona, so you come at last. I knew that one day your sojourn through the cosmos would end up here on Earth, for this is the only other world in the galaxy with atmospheric conditions identical to those of the world of your birth. I owe my misfortune to you. It was nearly 3 millennium ago that you and your legions disbanded my valiant followers and put down our insurrection. It was my destiny to rule, but because of your intervention I failed, and I was condemned to wander the immensity of space. Yes, I see you even now, as you were then, Zafra Zaran, good lord of Arcturus. Yes, Tagona. The evil in your heart cannot stand the sight of goodness. Look at me, Titan. I appear as I did then, a man of power. You escaped your punishment that day, 3,000 years ago. But I knew that you would find this world. So I came, centuries earlier, to await you, that you might be destroyed. I pretended to be a recluse, to avoid the suspicions of the natives who inhabit this globe.
You have no cosmic weapons, such as you once used against my followers. There is nothing to prevent me from killing you.
Yes, you can kill me. I am not immortal. I made the mistake of relaxing my vigil a century ago, and allowed my weapons to rust with age. But even though you kill me, my children and my children's children are scattered throughout this world. And one day they will get you.
Enough! You are in my power. Vengeance is mine at last. Thus you die.
The following day, a trapper making his way through the swamp comes suddenly upon an appalling sight. Good heavens! Clem Thatcher and old Zeke, dead. He reported his discovery to the sheriff.
Clem and Zeke, I can hardly believe it. Old Zeke has been around so long, it don't seem possible he's dead. While my great-grandfather knew him well.
Sheriff, I know you'll think I'm off my rocker for saying this, but whatever got him must have been a giant.
That is sheer nonsense. This is the second time I heard such a ridiculous theory, and I'm gonna disprove it right now. I'm going down in that swamp myself and track down that killer.
And so the sheriff armed himself and entered the dense Everglades, and as he proceeded deep into the heart of the swamp.
Some giant man or beast indeed.
Nonsense.
Somebody thinks I'm fool enough to swallow such nonsense. I'll prove that killer is an ordinary man, and I will get him, or I won't come back.
Several days later, inside the sheriff's office. Say, Hank, where's the sheriff? I don't know, Bill. He's been gone over 3 days.
You dropped something when you reached for your handkerchief, Hank. I'll get it. Say, that's pretty. What?
I got it, Bill, thanks. It's just an ornament. A religious symbol my father gave me 4 years ago.
By the way, Hank, I've been thinking about Sam Thatcher's strange death, and do you think there's really a giant monster out in the swamp?
I'm sure of it, and I am going to track it down, if it's the last thing I ever do.